Hello.
Hello.
I don't know how to start.
Okay. So this is World Inner Peace channel, and this channel designed to deliver inner peace, to deliver and spread inner peace to each and every human of our time in this world. And thank you for volunteering and joining this team. And I'm ready for the questions that you have prepared to
Yeah.
answer.
I have first question. What is inner peace?
Inner peace. Actually, I can tell you a story behind it because I didn't know about it too. It's linked to my trip to Japan. I had one of the great opportunity to study in Japan and to do PhD with a scholarship. And before going to Japan, I was with my children, with my son and my wife. We went to cinema to watch Kung Fu Panda 3. It was just released and we were watching it. And then there is a part with the inner peace. Have you watched that?
No.
So there is a piece, and they say it's inner peace. And then I whispered to my wife, I think I found this one. And then I went to Japan. And I started talking about inner peace. But I didn't know it in Mongolian. So I did my research plan and everything, and I gave it to the professor's committee earlier, so I had a lot of free time. And one day I was smoking in the smoking room at the school, and when a tall young man come in, and I asked him what is he studying, and he says he's studying the human interaction to object. And I said, well, if you link it to inner peace, it can be something interesting. And he asked me, what is inner peace? And I couldn't find the answer. And I went, and after the cigarette, I went up to my laboratory and I did a disc research. What is inner peace? And I typed in inner peace and then searched. There were so many things about inner peace, and the majority of them Dalai Lama thing. Dalai Lama's talks, video, and I watched them, and I realized everything what he say, I know.
Mm.
So that was a proof to me that I found my inner peace. And I was laughing alone in my lab because it was early in the morning, no one was there. So I was laughing in my lab because I realized finally that I really reached inner peace. What Dalai Lama said was perfectly much to what I know.
So what the Lama said?
Oh, there are so many things about inner peace, but the inner peace, now what I know about inner peace is, or what I acknowledge about inner peace is, it is our natural state. So the natural state where child born, they don't have any program, majority of them. So they're really fresh mind because they haven't installed anything from this time. So it is our natural state. And so means, as you said yesterday, we've been talking about that, and you said beautifully. You called it actually beautifully, the golden point.
Mm.
So inner peace is not a, you see, it's not about happy, because happy is a mood which goes up, and it is not about sad, which goes down. It is right in the middle. So it is, I would call it most sustainable happiness of our kind. It is one level which is most stable our feelings and our existence and our being. It's because it doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. So it is the level, balanced level of all. And with that, what happens is we start enjoying. We start enjoying everything in this world, and thanking. So inner peace is, I would say, it is the greatest happiness. There is no term about happiness, what happiness is in reality. So if there is a thing called happiness in reality, and it would be the greatest happiness of our kind that we can all have. And it stabilizes, and also the inner peace. At the World First Holistic Healing Congress, I said it is greatest immune system. It is greatest protector of our body, inner peace. It is new immune system booster.
So how we can feel this inner peace in our bodies?
We always do feel it, actually. And it is not something miracle, you know. It is that simple feeling that we feel most of our time, and it is the peace. So the reason why we call it inner peace is it exists in each of us, and that's why it's inner peace. So the and majority of the time we feel it, and then sometimes we are distracted, and then those distractions are called suffering. And we can talk about it later. So many people ask me how we can reach inner peace. So, and my answer to that is, it is unreachable. We cannot reach it because it's within us, and we cannot reach it, though it is keepable. And to keep it, to keep the inner peace within us, is to thank, to our own self, to our own inner peace. And it is one of the major key word or key action that we have, or that commands our inner peace. So thankfulness, what do we thank? Just talking to our own selves as you would talk to a stranger. And then you can say, I thank myself for my inner peace, and I enjoy it.
So we have to talk with ourselves inside?
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily, if you want, you can talk loud and inside. So if you say it out, then you hear it yourself, and then the command works. Perhaps,
it's better. Talking aloud?
Yeah. And, you can look at the mirror and talk to yourself if you want. Or you can close your eyes and sit down and look yourself within yourself, and then start talking to yourself. It's the same thing. And the good thing about it is our spirit starts hearing what we want, and then the spirits would tell you, it's like inner communication that you start creating within yourself. And your spirit and your body, would exchange ideas and how what the feelings they have and so on. So it is a good. It is really handy self-communication action that we can do every day.
What meaning has symbol of inner peace? Key bell.
The key bell. It is something interesting, and the key bell. You see, there is an interesting story behind it, why we have created this symbol. Nowadays we call it logo. I think starting from my second trip to Switzerland, I visit Switzerland like 2 times a year. I've been visiting to do sessions, decoding sessions, to help my kind. And during my trip, I visited the market, flea market in Zurich. And then when I was going there, I was looking for something. So literally, I was commanded to find something there, but I didn't know what. And then I was seeking like every corner, every displayed object, and I couldn't find it, what it is. And then on my 4th or 5th trip, I woke up. It was the last day of a day before my trip to Mongolia, and I had to go to the flea market, and I went there at 6 in the morning. It starts around 7 o'clock, but I wanted to see how people gather there, how does it begin. So from the very beginning, I was there around 6 in the morning, and then until noon, I was going around, circling around, spinning around the market itself, seeking for something, and I still didn't know what I was seeking. And then I asked myself, what am I really seeking? What you want me to find? And then it says key. And I was actually taking a break. I went out and I was smoking, and I questioned myself. And then the word comes to me, it said key. So I had to find a key. And I was like, okay, finally, thank you. And now I know what I need to look for. So I went around, and because I knew, I've been spinning around all day, almost all, half day. I knew where the keys are, so I went to pick up the keys, and no, there were so many keys, beautiful, small, tiny, cute, then big and very fancy, expensive, cheap, old. It says no on each one. There was no other place left actually, and I didn't figure it out. And I went out again to smoke, and I said, no key. It said key, and I want to find a key. Why you didn't choose any of them? It said special key. What kind of special key you want me to find? I cannot find any special key. And then I went in. No, I was smoking still beside, by the exit, and there was an old man selling antiques. And I saw the very unique key, big one, like this big. And I grabbed it, and I was holding, and says, yes, that's the key. And I wondered, and I got so excited because I found it finally. It's very unique. And then it has bell in it. It is not really a key. and it is not a bell either. So it is, I would call it, and the key bell term came. And when I was, and then I asked from the old man, what is your name? And he says, my name is Marco.
Mm.
And I look at the internet, the meaning of the Marco, and it says, Marco means the warrior from the Mars. And then I found a clue, because the King Attila, he was saying, when he was in Europe, he was saying that I am the owner of the Mars sword.
Mm.
So he was from the Mars. So it was relative to the King Attila. And that's how I figured out. But there is a more story behind the King Attila. When I went there, actually, there was a first sign that he was leading me there. It was interesting. So that's where the key bell tone came from. And it has a very unique design. And now I give it to one Hammersmith, and he's a really good metal worker, and he's doing the one copy to present it to the president of Mongolia for the inner peace of our nation. And the key, we all know, the key is always opens or shuts down, so it is to unlock. And then bell always wakes up. So it opens our mind to the meaning of the key bell is it opens our mind to the new millennium, and it shuts door for the next past 1,000 years, and then it wakes up everyone. So that's the key of the meaning of the key bell, and it truly means it. That's what the key bell is, and it will be something amazing to our kind all around the world to see what the key bell is.
Can we show our key bell in the next part?
On the next part, yes, and we can even do the video traveling there and meet the Hammersmith and see what is he doing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's something amazing, and there is big linkage with the names now, because you see, in our verbal heritage, I say verbal heritage, and in our verbal heritage, it said they have our ancestors has delivered so many secrets to us that we haven't acknowledged it. And in our verbal heritage, it said, if you have called your full name, you will have a full destiny. So here, our name refers to as our destiny, and how we know it, But in the Western world, in the Western part of the world, people think it's called identity, and then we give a name to identify, but it's not to identify. In our verbal history, it says it is our destiny. So it means every parent give a name. Before giving name, we always give, we always wish all the best. And that's how we draw the destiny of our children.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mother tongue, the name is not a name even. We call it honor, after honor. Objects, and now as I realized, objects have names, but we have honor, and that honor represents to a destiny.
What is our kind?
Our kind. It is, this is my word. On my speech, wherever I go, I always address it's my addressing to my kind, And I start with my kind. I said, dear my kind, and kind nowadays we start talking about kindness. And when I first visited Germany, there I saw my kind is really hungry with kindness and love and respect. And there was a big hunger of it in Germany. And I realized, people start talking about kind, being kind, and so on. But the kind itself doesn't mean nice. But now people tend to be they think kind is being nice, but kind doesn't mean nice. It means more than that. It means being human, because kind means family. So we are one family. So being kind means being human, and then treat one each other as a family, like brothers and sisters. So in my language, we are one family. For example, you see, in a bigger scale, world is one family because we all are one kind called human. And when it goes down smaller, Mongolia, for example, is one kind, one family, and we all are brothers and sisters. And in my mother tongue, we still use this. You can go out and say brother to older people and sister to older people, and then younger brother and younger sister to anyone in the street. That's how we talk, communicate. So it means our mother tongue inherited the brotherhood, sisterhood, or familyhood, or kindnesshood to each of us with a world heritage, but we forgot. We think brother and sister just used for a little family, but it is.
So are we one spirit?
We are one kind. Spirit is a different thing. You see, there is a name. We call it, or we do have a name, and our name, or even I would call it honor. The greatest honor that we have is a human, and it exists only one in this world, because it is just a name. So, you see, together, all we are, 7 billion bodies, has one name. And when we all become one, we become human. So, when it comes to acknowledging what a human is until now, we have created physical humans. When we see one each other, we think this is human, right? But in reality, what we see has different name. It's called body. How do you call this thing? It's called body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So body never been called human. Body had been called body, right? So you see, but in reality, human is invisible, because human, this is what the human is. It is the air coming out from my mouth. So it is not a name for body, because body is called body, right? So you see, there is another name, which is human. So what is this thing is given for? So time to acknowledge this thing, because body is called body, but there is another name which is called human, but we don't know what is given for, because it's not for body. So you see, there is a holistic human, and there is, lately we started talking about a holistic thing, and then the word holistic means complete. So the complete name, the giving to the holistic part of ourselves, our kind, is human. And and that one is given to body and the spirit. So there we become complete. So now, until now, as I said earlier, until now we have created physical humans. And from now on, until, in this new millennium, or in this new 1,000 years, time had come to become complete humans. So now we need to create the holistic humans, which has body and the spirit, and that name is given to the complete part of it, not only body. So, you see, this is the key term and key theory, I wouldn't call it theory, the key understanding to humanize our kind and become a human. Because now, until now we have made so many new human kinds out of this magically, perfectly designed godlike creatures called human. And now, you see, the true development or the true power of our kind exists in the natural state of our kind that we have been forgotten for I don't know how many years, until we have created this human zoo called city. We all came here to zoo and then placed ourselves into a gate and then watch ourselves and then laugh at ourselves. But the natural state of our kind had been left, and from that time until now on, we have been kind of sleeping in a man-made world. And now we realized, and globally we can hear everywhere, wake up and wake up and wake up, and we didn't know what do you mean, because everyone is awake, and only during the evening we sleep. During the day we all are awake. What is the meaning of wake up? And that was exactly referring to this understanding, becoming kind, and the becoming kind.
So it's like Matrix.
It's like true story. It is a really documentary. And we have created so many things, and then and then we've been told that this is reality, without realizing that it is man-made, And now it's time the time had come to acknowledge what the reality is.
Thank you for today.
My pleasure. Thank you.